Thank you all for the loads of questions you've been asking me and leaving in my comments and DMs. I collected them all to answer over some footage over a deload workout that I did a couple of weeks ago. Let's get straight into it. Do you drink alcohol? Why or why not? I don't drink alcohol. I grew up seeing a lot of my family members abuse it, and it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth, pun intended. I generally don't really like the taste of alcohol anyway, and I don't even drink coffee for the same reason. I've definitely had my fair share of, peer pressure, especially in Australia where the drinking culture is pretty big, but honestly, I just shrug it off. I know my values are important to me, so I stick to them. Do you take creatine supplements? Why or why not? No. I honestly have never wanted to develop a reliance on things, and I always wanted to take a minimalistic approach to training. In the case of supplements, saving money made it more of a reason to stay away from it, but I mainly don't want to trick myself into thinking I need things. And it's not just with supplements. A while ago, I stopped listening to music while training because bass drops were impacting my performance. I guess that is the beauty of music, but ever since then, I wanted to try and generate some motivation intrinsically. This helped me in a number of ways. For example, in competition where you can't control the type of music that might be playing on the speakers. I specifically remember stepping up onto the bar, people would be cheering and music was blaring, and then all of a sudden everything just went silent and all I could hear was my breathing, and I just went into this zone. So refraining from listening to music while training definitely helped me as a competitive athlete, but it also helped me through rough periods in life where it would give me space to think and hear my thoughts. And this whole idea that I had where I'd refrain from developing a reliance on things became a game for me, and I wanted to try and do my journey as naturally as possible, almost in a primitive way. It honestly took me so long to even convince myself to have whey, because in my game it was breaking the rules. I used to say as a teenager, it wasn't that long ago when they used to prescribe cigarettes to people in hospitals to help them feel better. And honestly, I think I was just being too hyper skeptical about the long-term effects of certain products. So all that to say, I'm not against creatine, but for me personally, I just choose not to take supplements. And honestly, it could change in the future. I don't really know. That's just the decision that I've chosen to make for this chapter right now. What is your current training split in a week? For those who might not know, a training split or a workout split basically is a term that we use to distribute and organize workouts throughout the week. My workout splits change from time to time to complement my lifestyle demands, but currently my workout split is training 4 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I train upper, and Tuesday I train lower. Do you have any advice for your younger self? I have a few things. Number 1, there was a time you prayed and wished for what you have right now. Number 2, less but better is more. And 3, with business, focus on solving people's problems. What are your current daily non-negotiables? It's on my lock screen, actually. This is what I try to aim for each day. Read the word, the Bible, train or stretch if I'm not training on that day, sit in silence. I tend to put on a 5-minute timer for this one, and I can do this anywhere, whether it's a busy outdoor area or just at home in my bedroom. Initially I found that this one was probably the hardest to adhere to because I really liked momentum in my day and just continually progressing through my to-do list, but I quickly realized how beneficial it can actually be in clearing my mind and regaining control of my day, especially with all these barking priorities. I also eat 150 grams of protein at least. I drink 2.5 liters of water. I learn Spanish. I'm on Duolingo right now. I've got a 223-day streak at the moment. I finish the day by prepping for the next day, and then I aim to sleep 7 to 9 hours. Have you achieved your physique solely through bodyweight calisthenics, or do you use weights or machines? For my upper body, I've actually trained mostly bodyweight throughout my whole journey, with small periods where I train weighted calisthenics if I have gym access. What are your hobbies besides calisthenics and riding your motorbike? I have hobbies that float in and out of life depending on how busy I am and what I'm interested in at the time. For example, when I was a kid, I played a lot of instruments, drums, guitar, did a lot of drawing, gaming. I think as I've gotten older, I've started to invest more time into hobbies with benefits other than just self-expression. For example, with content creation, I am kind of documenting my journey and expressing myself, but it also benefits others in the process. What other sports do you like? So growing up, I played a lot of sports thanks to my dad. He was a big sports guy. He was always really active. We'd have a ball to throw around wherever we went, any kind of ball, rugby, tennis, cricket, soccer, basketball, anything. And that influenced my interest in any sport really, whether it being watching or playing. Sport was always my favorite part of school, and I always excelled athletically without any training or coaching. So I had a lot of athletic talent, but I never actually worked on it until I got older with calisthenics. What are things that help you stick to a healthy diet? Personally, it really helped learning how to cook. It just gave me this different appreciation and understanding for food that you wouldn't really know
by just watching people or having people cook for you. Another thing that really helped me stick to a healthy diet, and not just in terms of progress and performance, but general health and micronutrients, is to really develop an appreciation for good food. And by good food, I mean quality ingredients. I definitely learned to see food a bit more objectively, like how your body utilizes ingredients and what certain foods actually do as fuel for your body. And unlearn the fact that there is good and bad food, because one, I feel like you'll gravitate more towards the bad things, and two, if you think about it, there really isn't bad food per se until you start really abusing the amount at which you have it, or it starts to jeopardize your progress towards your training goal. Ultimately, when creating or following a regime, it's important to understand that adherence is everything. You can have an amazing plan on paper, but if it doesn't realistically fit and integrate into your lifestyle, it's going to fail eventually. And that doesn't just go for fitness and nutrition.
Do you always superset for every workout? What's the benefit over completing one exercise at a time? Yes, personally, I always superset for convenience and performance, to be able to always recover quickly despite being under fatigue. And this has helped when I was preparing for competitions, and I've kept that method honestly because I want to be as close to comp ready as possible. Not because I'm going to compete, but I just like challenging myself. Do you train weights for legs or just body weight? Currently, I'm training legs with just my body weight, but I enjoy using weights for legs. My favorite weighted leg exercises are probably barbell back squats, RDLs, and I love a leg extension as a finisher or superset it with back squats. They're pretty spicy. How many years have you been training for?
So growing up, I did a lot of fitness challenges because my uncle would introduce me to a lot of these Navy SEAL kind of workouts where it's just push-ups. But I only really started training intentionally and consistently about 7 years ago.
What are your daily calories and macros? Honestly, I couldn't tell you because I don't track my macros, but I do try to aim for a general 150 to 200 grams of protein each day. When I'm eating my foods, I definitely keep in mind the general idea of the macros that I'm eating. But to be completely honest, I only really try to track the protein. Do you do weighted calisthenics as well? No, the workout that you're watching right now is essentially what I do. I only train body weight or upper body, and I have been doing that for the past at least a year. Are you also doing other activities that could add to your calisthenics journey, like running, sprinting, or weightlifting? No, because I make content about fitness and I've run a fitness business for years on top of my own training. I don't really want to add more fitness to my life at this stage. But at the same time, I mean, for example, if this YouTube were to blow up and I had the opportunity and blessing to do it full time and train full time, I wouldn't be complaining either. How much do you weigh? I'll just give you a bit of a screenshot of my Dropset app right now. But me eating really comfortably, like pizzas, fried chicken, all that kind of stuff, I hover around the 70 to 71 range at 13% body fat. I feel like this, for me, is extremely easy to maintain and would definitely be easy to maintain over the years. We'll see how my genetics respond maybe in the next few years, because apparently your metabolism begins to slow down in your 30s. I don't know if that's just the general consensus because most people stop being active around that time, or if it's actually a biological response. I plan to keep training consistent and a stable factor in my life until I'm really old. So yeah, we'll just see what happens.
What is progressive overload and how can you do it with calisthenics? Progressive overload is just a fancy term for making things harder over time. And we do this with our fitness because it provokes adaptation from our muscles and therefore makes us look better, perform better, and overall just prevent plateau. With calisthenics, you can obviously add weights and reps, but there are also multiple ways you can implement progressive overload other than just that. For example, you can slow down your tempo, you can implement isometric holds addressing weak points in range of motion, you can decrease your rest time, you can change your exercise selection, for example, seated dumbbell press into military press, or in this case with calisthenics, you can go from pike push-ups to wall handstand push-ups. You can change the hand and foot placement of the exercise and it will target slightly different muscles. You can increase the RPE or rate of perceived exertion within a given set, aim for a shorter total workout duration, or you can even just aim to make an exercise feel easier over time. There's genuinely so many ways to make things more challenging and provoke adaptation in your muscles.
Do you think you could build your chest, triceps, and front delt with only push-ups? Yeah, definitely. That's what I started with.
There's so many variables that you can manipulate with a push-up to stimulate different muscles in a different degree. For example, you can change around the sets, reps, rest times, hand placement, foot placement. Even the degree that you lean forwards or backwards of your hands will change whether you feel it more in your chest and your shoulders or your shoulders and your triceps. So basically what I'm saying is there's a lot of ways that you can manipulate the push-up in order to achieve a goal that you have for your pushing movements or even your physique when it comes to your chest, triceps, and front delts.
How do you develop a workout program that only includes pull-ups, chin-ups, dips, push-ups, and squats, without adding weight or doing skills to build muscle size. Okay, I'm going to interpret this as you not wanting to get bulky. To be honest, that's the least of your worries because building muscle size is very tough and it takes time. So you're not just going to wake up and accidentally be bulky. Do you know what I mean? It's a gradual thing and you'll be able to stop when you feel like you're getting too bulky. You'll be fine. Building size and adding weight will also be heavily influenced by your caloric balance rather than just your training. In terms of how to program these movements, I'd recommend doing antagonist supersets, which is choosing 2 exercises that target opposing muscle groups and or are opposite in movement patterns. For example, horizontal push and horizontal pull, like push-ups into horizontal rows, or vertical push into vertical pull, like dips into pull-ups, which is what I'm currently doing in this workout that you're watching.
Do you believe you first have to build the strength, for example, weighted 40 kilogram dips for 8 reps and 20 kilogram pull-ups for 8 reps, and after this you can achieve any tough skill like the front lever plunge very, very fast, like in 3 to 4 months? That is one method, but you can build foundational strength for more advanced calisthenic skills in other ways, other than just adding weight to the exercise. Like what I said before in regards to progressive overload. For me, I achieved one-arm pull-ups, front and back levers, and handstand push-ups while only training body weight and becoming really, really comfortable with my foundational movements through conditioning and working my way through the progressions.
So that's about all the questions I could fit in this video, but if you have any more questions for me, leave them in the comments, send them to me via DMs, and I'll see you in the next Q&A video. Thanks for watching or listening.